Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm making a little sort of sampler for Maggie Holmes papers and things that someone could take some tags and papers and make their own cards, like a paper sampler of the collection, so not the full sheets. So I took some cardstock and I have it here measured to 10 by 7. Having to do that over, I think I would do more like 10.5 by 7, just because I didn't account for the spine really, but I'm going to make it work. So I have 10 here, and of course 5 is the middle, so you want to score down there, and then you want to make some little 1/8 inch scores on either side a couple times, so that we have sort of a flexible binding, if you can kind of see that in there. So not just one thing, but a nice, like, sort of curvier binding. And then that will leave you with the ability to have panels on here. We're going to make those panels about 4.5, maybe shy of. I don't want to give you a weird measurement, but it kind of turned. That's why I say for yours, add on 10, make it 10.5 by 7, and then you won't have so much of a problem. But anyways, so for this one, I'm going to do 4.5, and I'm going to do by 6 3/4, and I'm going to cut out panels. I have here, let me zoom out. I feel like I'm, you can see my messy. I have here, I'd gotten this at Tuesday Morning back a couple months ago, the Maggie Holmes carousel, and I thought of the yellows in here. That's why I grabbed this yellow cardstock. And this is a 6 by 8 pad, so this will accommodate making nice panels for that. So I'm going to pick out some papers that are kind of fun, and let's see here. Of course, I have the digital files as well, and that's what I'm going to be making my samplers from. But if you don't, you could certainly just do this all from the pad. So I'm going to cut these down to 6 3/4 by, what did I say now? I don't remember. 4.5. And I have my panels here, and I brought some of my scraps. I always tend to save the bigger ones because you can make little tags and little end pieces and things. I've been using this Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. I also really like this art glitter glue, but whatever you trust, that's going to be the thing to use. In Michigan, we got a wet glue, tends to work really well because of our ever-changing weather. Alright, so I'm going to decide which one I want my cover to be, which might be that one. And we'll just have a little yellow border there. That'll be fun. And you can certainly put pockets on the back, or a little envelope that opens. Who knows what we'll do before the end. This one's going to be an inside piece. I really like that though. And I'm going to put that there. That in there, and we're going to create some pockets on the inside to hold our ephemera and decorate it up. That's the fun part. So once you get the base down, and you also want to think about how you want to close it. Eyelets maybe, and then tie it with a string kind of a thing is probably where I'm going to go with that. So it's easy to open. You could do any number of things. You could tie it with a ribbon and call it a day. I've done that before. So I love ribbon. It's the kind of thing that's stick in your Happy Mail, stuff it with some goodies. This particular project, I'm giving people some things to work with, some little paper bits and things. And so we're going to go ahead now and make our pockets. So I'm going to measure this out to be bigger. Just go ahead and add more to the edge when you cut your paper. If you want to make it really thick, if you want to open up and have a honking pocket coming out, then just make your binding bigger. Just allow for that, and that'll be fine. So mine is, I've got about a 1/2 inch wiggle room here. So I'm going to come about 2 inches up. So then I want to add a 1/4 inch for my tab on the bottom, so 2 1/4. So I'm going to do that out of the yellow cardstock, and then we're going to mat it with the designer paper. Okay, so I have scored the sides at 1/8 of an inch and then at 1/4, and then what you want to do is just burnish those a little bit, and that it'll be easier to see because you're just making a little pocket just so we can tuck things in. And so now you have this bottom bit and these sides, and you're just going to go right across the corner because we just want to miter those. I just think it's a little easier to see what's happening. So I'm cutting right across that corner. Okay. And then we're going to want to, so we're going to put glue on these three sides. And before we do that, so I've got two of these, I'm going to want to put some pattern paper on there. 2 pieces of designer paper there. And I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. It's just easier to do it while it is flat. So basically you're just matting that. Now let's go ahead and glue that. Put you about there. I'm going to go ahead and start with the bottom. And I'm going to go right along the bottom. You could use tear and tape for this. By the way, if you didn't want to do the whole gluing and mitering thing, you could just make this a flat piece and sew it onto this before you glue this panel down, which is something I might try sometime because I like to sew my paper. Alright, so okay, so here's the finished project, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I think this would be super fun to get. So let me show you the back. I just decided to tie it with a ribbon. I had this Offray brand ribbon that went really well with these light blues, and then I just dug through this. I made digitally from my digital pack, and then I added some borders and PicMonkey and things, so that is something I printed out. But then I just used scraps. I used a die cut that I had sponged with Distress ink, and I have a Prima doily in the back here. So let me show you. So this is what they would get. They just simply untie it. It is glued underneath. This is up on foam dots, so all they have to do is untie it like that. And on the inside is a fun little pack that they can create with. So let me go through here. So I have a little pocket that I made with just some scrap, and I have a tutorial about how to make these pockets, and they're super easy. And then I just used a a circle to make a little punch out there. I used some scraps to layered some butterflies, a teacup, and I had some fun fur and just a scallop circle. I just went through some of my little ephemera bits that I keep around that don't work for whatever project, and I keep them and I use them. So I cut out a little tag. This is a stitched tag that I double-sided with paper and glued together, and I wrapped with a little owl clip some of that really fun sparkly, I got this on Amazon, sparkly leaf, whoa, sorry about that, leaf trim, and some ombre ribbon that they can use. So there's a little bit there, and inside here I have some more butterflies that are just layered out of scraps. Just layered those, so they can use those however they wish, and then they can just go inside that pocket. They can use this pocket like so. It'd be a great little Happy Mail gift for someone. I really think people would enjoy it. Here I had in my stash a bow that I'd made previously and layered some things there, so they can use that. You can put it on a clip, you can just use it like ephemera. And then I just have those paper scraps over here. So some papers they can make cards with, some card fronts with some cardstock. I have a double-sided tag that's that same tag as that little ribbon wrapped one. That way they can use that for whatever. And then just some ephemera. I have some floral paper, a love, 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 and a create beautiful memories. And that gives them just some fun things to dabble with. You could put sequin pouches in here, all sorts of things, and it's just a little sampler. You can see even that ribbon comes out, so they could reuse that ribbon. So it's not glued down, it's just between the doily and this front here. And then you just tie, like so. I love those colors. And then what a great little gift. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a great day.